Hello, welcome to Liz Rocks and Stuff. I'm Liz, and this is episode 113 of What's in My Tumbler. And I'm going to go ahead and say, one, this is the deer that was staring at me while I was doing this week's rinsing. So I looked up, and there's just a deer staring at me. So I figured I'd film it for a bit. Anyway, also, Yuna is trying desperately to get Momo to play with her. So she is running around my office like a mad dog right now. All right, starting off with Rainbow Obsidian. This was sent to me very kindly from Rock and Tumble, and there's a link in my description if you are interested in seeing what other rocks they have. I am so far really impressed with these rocks. If they shine the way that I think they will, they're going to be so gorgeous. So this is the second batch that has gone through stage 3. So what I'm doing is I'm just making sure that nothing here has chipped or broken in the last cycle. And then I'm going to put these into a soap cycle. I'm also going to say that I am doing a little bit of an experiment with Pure Hunger, since I don't have a lot of hope that batch is going to turn out good anyway. But we'll get to that in a little bit. But just, I'm changing things up there. I'm curious what people think. All right, so adding the water and a tablespoon of ivory soap to put this through a soap cycle. And then once it's out of the soap cycle, I'm going to put in the batch 1. Maybe I should be batch A and B in stages 1, 2, and 3. I don't know, maybe that's a little more clear. But anyway, so if we're doing that, this is batch B, out of soap cycle after stage 3. And so I'm going to rinse it off. That's going to get put aside and stored. And then I'm going to put into the barrel batch A with this same media. So there's batch A. You can tell because it's dry. So put in the media. It didn't need as much media as the first batch, so these aren't as evenly sized as I had hoped, but it's fine. Then I'm going to put it in the water. And for this, I'm doing 1 tablespoon of stage 3.5, the 1000 grit, and then a tablespoon of borax. And so these are going off to the tumbler for a week. All right. And there's my dog not paying any mind to the fact that there's a deer staring at her. Anyway, so Candy Coated Chaos. This is the green, yellow, and pink opal. I've got a lot of this that's ready to go, but I think I'm going to go through and get all of my rough into through stage 1. So this is me doing a quick inspection. Everything in the cup at the bottom is ready for stage 2. Everything getting put into the top is needing more time in stage 1. And no, I didn't fully clean out the barrel because this is a soft rock that's just not been using up the grit. It hasn't been breaking it down as much. So instead of wasting that, I am just going to put it all back in the barrel, put some fresh grit in there with it after I get everything sorted, and then move on. Now that that is all sorted, I'm going to add some more rough in. I still have more, not a whole ton more, but I do still have more of this rough. So put the stage 2 readies aside. Fill that with water, tablespoon of borax, 2 tablespoons of stage 1 grit, and then this is ready to go. All right, Pure Hunger. This is the one that I said I was starting an experiment with. So I said last week that I really hated putting in the media because I didn't want to have to sort it all out. So I went ahead and we're scrapping the ceramic media on this batch. So what you're going to see I'm going to rinse this all off. Not thoroughly enough because this is real dirty stuff. Put it all back in the tumbler after I do an inspection, make sure that nothing is chipped or broken. And I'm going to put this through a soap cycle. After the soap cycle, we'll get there. It's probably easier for me to explain. But there's some stuff that I did off camera, and then we'll talk about what the experimental part of this is. And personally, I don't think this batch is going to turn out. I've somewhat given up on this batch. I don't know why. I just have. So this is me just kind of throwing stuff in just to see, and I'm doing something I haven't seen or heard of anybody else doing. So I don't think it's going to work or help, but we'll see. But first we got to get this stuff cleaned off. So we're going to do a soap cycle for a few hours. Did my normal soap cycle. And then after the soap cycle, we're going to clean everything off. See how dirty that stuff was. It's just it's the purpurite. Might be the triflate. I don't know. I don't even know if I'm saying that word right. So we're going to take out the purpurite and triflate. And then I am going to pick as much of the blue apatite out of the media as I can. I did not get nearly all of it. There was a lot left over. So I do pick some of it out here, but then I took that off screen and did it off camera because it was not easy to do in with the colander. I ended up spreading it out on the table and sort of sorting it out that way. So I added what I can back in, and this is what I'm going to use for media now. If you don't know what this is 3D printing poop. So my husband's printer can change colors, and when it changes colors, it squirts out some color and then kicks it off, and that's called 3D printing poop. So that's what that is. There's also some smaller little failed prints in there, just to add some extra shape. I did not put a lot of water in this. It was much lower than I normally would because plastic floats. So if I have a ton of water in there, all the plastic's going to float to the top, the rocks are going to be at the bottom, and then the media is not doing its job. So I'm seeing if I can put lower water level in there, if that will keep the plastic down with the rocks to help cushion that a little bit more. Will it work? No idea. Probably not, but we're going to see anyway. And I have a ton of that 3D printing poop, so I can have more stuff. Sorry, my pets are just going at each other. Anyway, so now we've got Coca Trolla, Sunset Sodalite, and Trolleyite. So what am I doing with this? All of it is ready to move on. This stuff is just turning out great. I'm so happy with this. So this is going to get moved into stage 2. Now, I have some already in the cup that were from last week that were ready to move on. Pretty much everything's ready to move on this time. I don't think I had anything that I thought would benefit from another week in stage 1. So what I did is I just put the whole cup in the barrel and did a soap cycle on it. I've been really adamant lately about making sure I do soap cycles between every stage, even if they've been sitting and dried out for a minute. I just feel like it helps a little bit. I don't know. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. I used to not do a soap cycle between 1 and 2 and only did it between 2 and 3 and 3 and 4. But now I do it between all of them. So anyway, this is a stage 1 soap cycle. Once that's done, dump it out. And then we're going to get it all rinsed off and get this batch ready for stage 2. So this is moving right along. Anyway, so I know I talked about a couple video ideas that I had. I'm not ready to do my Obsidian video yet. I don't have the footage for it. But I am going to do my re-tumbling bruised rocks. So that should be coming out hopefully in the next month. So how to retumble rocks if you've gotten bruised rocks is basically what that's going to be about. So look for that. And yeah, thanks for watching. This is Coca Trolla going into stage 2. 1 tablespoon of borax, 3 tablespoons of stage 2 grit, and that's going to be ready to go. So yeah, like and subscribe. Thanks for watching. Look for my retumbling bruised rocks video, and hope to see you back next week.